All right, and welcome to week number 1 of Walk the Plank. Feels weird to say that, but we're ready to start the 25-26 school year. Thanks for joining us here for what is a deep dive into the Perry Athletic Department, the events that were this past week and what we have coming up. And I'm joined by always for our second year now, Gene Winters, my co-host. Gene, thanks for being here as always.
Yeah, it's great to be back. After a great first year, getting to learn more about all the student athletes. I'm real excited to get season 2 underway.
Yeah, so here we are, season 1, episode 1. Or season 2, episode 1. Okay, there we go. We'll get it eventually. We're a little bit rusty here coming off a long summer break, but we're going to be joined right off the bat here with our girl athlete of the week, our female athlete of the week. For those of you who remember last year, we have a male and a female athlete that we'll recognize, we'll interview, we'll go through some of the accomplishments that they've had so far. And then we're going to talk to our head boys golf coach today, Bob Dame. And our middle school athletic director, Mindy Allen. But without further ado, we're going to start off with Jill Peters here. She is our female athlete of the week. Jill, there is your free meal deal from DQ. We want to thank DQ for being a sponsor of our podcast once again for year number 2 here. And each of our winners each week will get a free meal deal plus a blizzard. So pretty good deal. Thanks to Marie and DQ in Perry. Visit them when you can. Jill, congratulations. Hot start to the year. Coach Walker, our girls golf coach, nominated you. You've been our lead scorer in 4 of the 5 matches that we've played. You've led us to a 3-2 start on the season from an overall record standpoint. Individually, you finished 2nd in the Berkshire Invitational overall and 4th overall at the Beaver Invitational over at Painesville Country Club. That's put on by Riverside. So pretty great start to the year for you. How's the senior year going?
It's going really well. I'm really excited to see what happens later in the season, but right now it's going really well.
Awesome.
And for you, what has been the best part of your game so far? Are you striking the ball well? Are we chipping and putting well? Short game? What's going right?
I think overall everything is going right. I mean, obviously, maybe once in a while I get a bad shot, but everything is really coming together.
And following a bad shot, we might have talked about this last year, but how do you stay in the right mindset to kind of just put that one behind you so it doesn't snowball in a negative direction?
I kind of just forget about it, and I'm just okay, I'm just gonna hit the next shot and hope for the best so that I can get it farther up there.
Well, I think that's one of the things about golf that I know it frustrates me. I'm a very average to below average golfer, and I think one of the things is you hit a bad shot and then you get mad. Right, and then that leads into your next shot, and you hit another bad shot, and you get even more mad, and then it's like Gene said, it snowballs, and so I think the mental aspect of the game can be just as important as the physical aspect, being able to strike the ball, being able to drive the ball far away, hit sharp and accurate irons. How do you do anything particular for that mental side, or you're just it's just that, hey, I'm just putting it behind me. It is what it is. That's in the past. I've got to focus on this next shot.
Yeah, I just kind of just put it in the past and just think ahead, just leave it behind.
Okay. Positive attitude, right?
Yeah.
Being a senior this year, has this year changed it all for you, knowing that this is the last time you're going to do this at the high school level? Is there more pressure because you're thinking about what could be next after high school, or are you trying to stay in the moment of, I'm golfing right now and I'm going out there to succeed?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay in the moment. I want this to be a good last year for me.
I was going to say, last year you were a first team all CVC. So what did you do this off season to help you improve upon that, to stay first team again? Was there a weakness in your game last year that you tried to address over the summer?
Over the summer, I played in a couple of tournaments, which helped, and I practiced a lot to just all over all my games. So.
What was your favorite tournament you played in this summer?
Probably the one at Madison.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Madison Country Club is our home course, for those of you who don't know. And they do a great job taking care of both our boys and our girls golf team. So shout out to Kevin and Amy out at Madison Country Club for all that they do for our golf programs. It's really one of the nicest courses in the area, so for us to get to play it on a daily basis, and they sort of give us everything we need, everything we could ask for out there. Do you prefer at Madison the front or the back nine?
I probably prefer the back nine because I've shot better in the back than the
Okay.
front.
Yeah. And do we play the back more often than not, or we probably play the front more often? From like a girls' match, if we were playing Lakeside, as an example, are we playing the front or the back typically?
I think this year we're trying to play the back more instead of
Okay.
the front, but like in past years we played the front basically every time.
And you're one of a handful of seniors, so does it make it a little bit easier for you to have some girls that you can rely on that you've grown through this program with?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
And if you're scouting, like, how would you describe the other? I think there's 3 more seniors along with you. You know, what are they good at? Oh, you know, what have you seen in their game, their growth that, you know, since they've been in high school golf?
I think out of everybody, their positive attitudes towards golf have definitely been very consistent and well, and just their mindset to the game and playing.
So we have 6 teams in the Lake Division of golf, and for those of you who don't know, the Chagrin Valley Conference is growing. Not so much this year, but next year we'll actually be up to 29 teams in our conference. And so we're going to be restructuring some divisions and all that kind of. It gets a little confusing because we have different teams in different divisions and so on. So we're in the Lake Division for girls golf. Who, in your opinion, is the best team? Are we right up there with everybody? Who's the team to beat, and how is it looking from that perspective so far?
The best team, I think, is Edgewood
Okay.
because we've been competing against them every single year,
Yeah.
and we've gotten close multiple times, but they still ended up taking the
Getting it a
win.
little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the first year for Coach Walker coming back over to the golf side. Met him a couple times last year. Or I should say, got to know him through tennis last year, and then obviously being here on the podcast. So how has that transition been with a new coach here in your senior year? He seems like at least on the tennis side, a guy that likes to keep it loose with his athletes.
Yeah, it's been really easy because I already knew him, so that made it easier, and just he's really good with us and just being able to be laid back but still coach us.
Good, yeah. You know, we want that added pressure. Golf's a tough enough sport in and of itself, right? Where you already have the pressure that you put on yourself. You don't need somebody else, a coach or anybody, to come down and say, "Oh, you better make this putt." I think Coach Walker's pretty laid back when it comes to that mindset. So, 3-2 on the year. We've got matches at least 2 or 3 days a week here coming up over the next several weeks. But then, golf is one of those sports that we hit the Chagrin Valley Conference tournament out at Punderson. There in Newberry on September 16th. So before we know it, we're into the postseason, and then sectionals are the following week. What sort of your goals, whether it's team or personal, for that CVC tournament at Punderson, and then sectionals the following week after that CVC?
Well, for the CVC, I hope to make first team again, and then for the sectionals, I'm hoping to make it to districts.
Okay.
I mean, that's my goal.
Yeah.
So hopefully I do.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll certainly update everybody as we go here, Jill. Over the last couple weeks of the season, crazy to say that already, but really 3 weeks left of the regular season. Then we start that postseason trek. So as we go throughout our weeks here, we're going to have our podcast each and every week highlighting everything. We'll certainly keep everybody up to date. Before we let you go, we'll do some get-to-know-you questions. Both of our athletes of the week were here last year, so some of these are repeats, but we'll see if anything's changed. We can go back and sort of see if anything's changed for you. What would your favorite food be?
Pasta.
Pasta. And anywhere you're getting your pasta from, any restaurant, or is it homemade?
Homemade.
Homemade pasta, all right. Coach Peters getting it done at home with the special sauce, and so does he make his own sauce? Does your mom make the sauce?
No, my mom just buys like
Okay.
good stuff
There you
for
go.
it. So
Easy.
yeah,
All right, perfect. Favorite subject in school?
science.
Science. Any ideas for college yet?
No.
I haven't really
No.
gone down that road. Okay. Favorite movie or show, whether it's a television series or streaming or a movie.
My favorite show is The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Okay. Hobby away from golf. Anything that you're doing outside of golf or school?
Probably nature walks.
Okay, cool. And here's a new one. Mr. Winters threw this one in. I like it. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Probably Block Blast.
Block Blast. All right. I am not a game person on my phone. My wife
I need new games.
is
That's why I
on,
threw it on there.
She's on like level 4,000 or something, but I don't even know what the game is
Yeah.
called, but she's on it pretty good bit. So, favorite memory from Perry, it can be anything. K to 12, you're a senior. You've got about 8 or 9 months left before you graduate and walk across that stage. What are you going to take away from your memories of Perry schools?
Probably going to districts for golf.
Okay, awesome.
That was really fun.
That was a great experience. Well, like you said, and you've got a goal to go back. You had such a good time the last time you want to get back. If you could visit anywhere in the world, Jill, where would you go? Money's not an object. We say you can go somewhere. Where are you picking?
Australia.
Australia. I remember that from last year. You said that one. So, Jill Peters, our female athlete of the week. Thanks for being here, Jill. Enjoy your DQ. Good luck the rest of the year, and we hope to see you on that first team CVC list and on to districts for your senior year. Appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, an exciting start to the golf season, and that's what's been nice because again, even though school started last week, these fall sports have already been going since early August, and especially for something like golf where you have to start right away to make sure you get all your matches in.
Yep, and we're going to transition right over to boys golf here. As you see, our head boys golf coach has joined us on set here. Bob Dame. Coach Dame, thanks for being here. July 28th was actually our first date of practice, so the OHSA, not a curveball, but a little bit of one from the standpoint of they let us know in spring, like, hey, by the way, you can start on July 28th because a lot of, with August 1st this year falling on a Friday, it was a little strange, and then teams want to start playing right away on Monday, so they actually let us start the 28th, and we had a competition that week right off the bat. We had our tryouts, and then we had our Bronco Invitational right off the bat that first week. We didn't get it in. Is that the second year in a row?
Well, the thing is, it hadn't rained for like 2 straight months, and then boom, that day it poured down. And we tried to get through it, but it got a little. I don't know. Some kids did. Yeah. It was pretty heavy, and so we had to call it a day.
Well, we're fighting a little rain this fall so far. We'll talk about that from a tennis standpoint, too. And if you remember back to spring, this is our new bell system you're hearing. Very high tech. We fought. It was a brutal spring, and we don't want any more rain. And then, like you said, it didn't rain most of the summer, and we've been fighting it the last couple of weeks and into late July. So, Coach Dame, how's the season going so far? Just take us through. Like we said, our first official start date was July 28th. So here we are. It's August 26th. We're almost at a month into the season already.
Right.
And yes, this is just week 1 of our podcast, but you guys have been at it for a while, at the grind. Your matches, 2 or 3 matches a week, practicing every day. How are things going so far for boys golf?
So here's the thing. This is my 3rd year.
Yep.
This is very similar to my first year in the sense that I only have really 1 senior playing varsity.
Yeah.
And we have a younger team, but a younger team in the sense that they're very ambitious. Sometimes with golf, especially you see other programs, they'll have some kids out there that just want to be out there. So these guys, I've got 3 freshmen on the varsity, and then 2 juniors, and then the 1 senior. And they're learning, they're trying their hardest. They're really progressing, knowing that the finish line is far away and they can continue to improve. So it's very similar to that first year that I had. So with that being said, it's the weirdest thing. Our record is not very strong.
Yeah.
Okay. But we've played in a couple tournaments where we've beat the teams that we're losing to in our conference.
Yeah.
So I was joking with my older son, Alex, that I go, I don't know if it's possible. I don't even know if it's ever happened, but could we be a team that goes over in the conference and advances in sectionals?
Right,
because the way our sectionals fall into play is it's basically our conference that is the strength, and then that's minus orange. And so we have to basically beat, the teams in our conference if we want to advance. And we have beat them, not necessarily in the 9-hole matches, but we have in other tournaments. So it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's growth, it's emotional, because, young kids, and older kids, like we were talking with Jill when you were asking her about emotions. Controlling the emotions of the kids is the hardest thing to do, and especially in 9-hole matches, because they see the finish line a lot faster than the 18-hole matches. So one bad hole and it's like, they ready to throw in the towel. So it's a tough thing. So
Well, I was going to ask you about your roster breakdown, but you kind of answered that. So doing the parallels for yourself from your first year to this here in year 3 and how those teams are similar, does that help you coach a little bit since you've kind of been through it? Is it like a deja vu almost?
Well, I'll let the bell, it is a little bit, so, just like the kids, I'm trying to grow and change too. So like I've seen a couple times now where seniors get to a certain level and it's almost like they see the finish line, check out a little bit. And so I've been trying to think outside the box, talking to Coach Schubert as well, is trying to figure out what can we do different without making it feel awkward, to keep these kids' I shouldn't say it that way, to keep their confidence up, knowing that this, while it's an important part of the season, isn't the most important part of the season. So it's adapting for sure, but we're trying to learn on the fly and make things better for the end of the season.
Well, and we talked a little bit about the CVC, and so for boys golf is different than girls, of course. As I explained, the CVC is a little complicated to follow from a divisional standpoint. We're in the Chagrin division for boys golf, and we have a brutal schedule in there. We've got Chagrin Falls, we have Orange, we have Hawken, we have West G, who is probably the best golfer in the league, at the top, and so. We finished in last place at the preseason tournament for CVC by 4 strokes or something like that. We're right there. And if we were in the Lake Division, just as an example, we would have won it.
Sure.
We would have been in first place.
Right.
So it's just sort of the teams that we're paired with in this group. And that's not an excuse. It's just fact that, we've got to go out and compete with those teams. But like you said, I think it will get us ready for the postseason. We get to compete against those teams, not only regular season, but in the postseason tournament, which September 15th, just like the girls at Punderson, will be at Quail Hollow. We'll get a chance to compete against those teams there and then right back at it in sectionals the following week. So, and with such inexperienced players too, I mean, anybody – half of your roster, if you told any coach half your roster is going to be freshmen, you would probably call it a rebuilding year. And I don't think we're doing that. I think we're very skilled from 6 all the way up to 1. But let's just talk about the team a little bit if you want to go through each and talk about each kid and just some of the highlights or the strengths of each of them.
Sure. So we'll start with the freshmen. First of all, it's one thing to have freshmen, and they're great kids.
Yeah.
And they're all very serious in what they're doing. But it's funny because the one match I actually took a picture of Preston Rupert as one of the freshmen, and I put him in this group, and he had Russell Ford with him, who's kind of tall, and then the 2 orange kids that were kind of tall. And here's Preston and Preston, so I've got Preston Rupert, I got Carson Porcello, and I got Ryan Dragon, and they're all like the same size, but they've never said to me, "Gosh, I wish I hit it farther" or anything like that.
Yeah.
They play their own game, so they're very mature in that sense. They know who they are. They don't try to do. That's a big thing because everybody always wants to hit it farther. Everybody always wants to, hit it like the kid that they're playing with or whatever.
Right.
But they know who they are. They do a great job of it. Their temperaments are very mellow. Maybe because again they're freshmen that they don't think of it that way.
Yeah.
But just to kind of talk about what you said of being in the good conference too, is that I've tried to switch them up and play with different players and even put them in some of the best groups.
Yeah.
And so then they're not shell shocked because you do go to some of these tournaments and you play with no offense, but Madison and Geneva, and they're looking over at our division saying we have no chance against them. Whereas our kids know that they're going to have to play against them.
Yeah.
So that's it. They got to just get better. And then, obviously, after that, I have 2 juniors in Bronson Denholm and Benny Dame, and they've played varsity last year. They obviously are very experienced. They play quite a bit, and they're a good building block for these younger guys. They learn from them. I said, though, for Bronson and Ben, especially since I've been here, they had to flip roles. They were the small freshmen.
Yeah.
They were the little guys, and they wanted to hang out with the older kids and look up to the older kids. And now, to have that role reversal, it's been, I think, a growth for them that they've done, and they've handled it very well. And then, obviously, my lone senior in Russell Ford, who will be a 4-time varsity letterman, who, sometimes, he knows this because I talk to him all the time, can sometimes be his own worst enemy because he hits the ball so well that he wants that perfection all the time, and to not obtain that perfection all the time is just the game, So it's just golf. So you gotta, move on from there. So.
And as you look at this roster as a whole, what are the strengths of this team, and where are some areas that you want to see kind of improve over the next couple of weeks as you get closer to Clay Hollow?
So over the summertime, we do our little summer get-togethers, and we spend a lot of time on the short game, chipping, putting, and all that kind of stuff. And over the season, it's an everyday grind. You don't really practice. In fact, we had practice the other day, and it rained out again. So, that stuff is just repetition after repetition after repetition. And just playing and doing it on the golf course isn't practice. So the hard part is trying to now, we kind of front-loaded our schedule, so the back half will be open for some more practice days to really kind of get back into that fundamental aspects of the game. But like I say, in general, they have, once school starts, everybody takes a little dip down, and then you kind of catch your second wind. The thing that we talked about the other day in the van ride was that I want them to start playing 18 holes again on the weekends on their own, because they get so accustomed to playing 9 holes. And I know it's not football or basketball where it's super strenuous, but it does make a difference when you're walking 18 versus walking 9.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to try to start putting an emphasis on that, to get them back into that 18-hole form.
And we'll play Quail Hollow twice, back-to-back, CVC and sectionals. Do you guys practice out there at all? Do you do anything leading up to those 2 dates?
So we are setting up a practice round out there, and then Bronson also works out there. So he's gonna start telling some of the members look the other way, and we're gonna sneak out there.
Right. We'll take it.
Any
rounds we can get them.
Right? That's right.
So that's, and I know Chagrin Falls the other day we lost by 2 strokes. They came out to Madison, little home course advantage obviously when you're playing at home, but obviously are they the best team in the league in your opinion?
So it's honestly it's very strange year. Traditionally they've been the strongest team. Now, lucky or not lucky or however you want to look at it, they did have a couple kids transfer out. Yeah. Okay. So that hurt their depth.
Yeah.
So they have 2 very strong players, and then the other guys are okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, we beat them in one tournament.
Yeah.
At Kenston over at Punderson.
Yeah.
They had the 2 guys in the low scores, and then the others were high.
Yeah.
And we've played them now 3 times, and I've seen 3 different lineups. So I think that they're searching. Like you said, West Geauga has a very solid player. I mean, he's a really good player.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team is okay.
Yeah.
Orange probably is the deepest team right now, but they don't have anybody playing as low as some of those other schools. And Hawken is kind of deep too. But it's just like I said, no one's exceptional this year.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody's pretty balanced, and we're just on the outside looking in, but I feel like we can get there and kind of surprise some people at the end, hopefully.
Well, and you'll have 5, we're certainly not discounting this year. It's a tough division that we're in. We don't know what division we'll be in next year. We got to determine those as a league, but as I mentioned, we're going to 29 teams. North, South, Chardon, and Fairport all come back into the league, so 3 of those 4. North, South, and Chardon all have golf teams, so we could be in their division. We just don't know. But you're going to have, 5 returners, with a year under their belt, a minimum of a year. You'll have 2 seniors at least that have, 3 years under their belt. So, if I think anything we can do this year, whether it's getting to districts or beating some of these teams in the CVC is sort of, that cherry on top, and really our program is set up for future success as well.
Right. Yeah. And you can't, we try to practice, but
Yeah.
you can practice some things. You just have to experience them.
Sure.
And
Right.
that's one of those things that sometimes the kids get down because they don't think they're improving, but they're really improving without improving. You know what I mean? And it's score-wise. So.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, best of luck. We'll probably have you back on as we get closer to our postseason
All right.
run. We can give everybody an update, and maybe we'll be one of those teams that make history. You don't win a conference match, but you advance to the district level. I mean, that would be an
That'd be
accomplishment.
sneaky. That would be
right?
sneaky,
We'd have to
right?
let the OHSA know about that one. So, all right, Coach.
Thank
Bob
you.
Dave, thanks
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Have a
All
good rest of the day, and best of luck the rest of the year. We're going to keep moving things right along, and we're going to bring up our middle school athletic director, Mindy Allen. She's going to update us on what's happened in the middle school so far. Coach Allen, how are you?
Oh, good.
Good.
Busy.
Thanks
you
for
know?
yes, you
Best
are.
Time of the
You're
year,
always
right?
busy. But yes, it's here we are. The start of the school year. We had, we kicked off last week. First day of school was last Monday. We're shooting this pod on a Tuesday this week. We'll try to shoot these on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, early enough in the week, midweek, to preview the weekend coming up, and then sort of recap the previous week. So here we are. We're a week in. But we've had a lot of events.
We have.
Middle school wise as well. We've got volleyball, we've got cross country, we've got football, soccer. I mean, we're across the board. It's packed.
Yeah. And first day of school, volleyball hit the road.
Yeah.
So, things we really, hit it running.
Yeah, right.
From
It
day one.
Didn't waste any time.
No.
We're right off the bat in school, and then get on the bus and go to
Let's go.
wherever we went for a
That's right.
volleyball match.
Yeah,
So that's awesome.
But you know what? It's good for the
Yeah.
kids. That's life.
Yep.
Learning how to balance and jump in. I know, for me, coming off of vacation,
Yeah.
Sunday, getting home and stressing, okay, start tomorrow,
Yeah.
stressing out, Monday, okay, first day back, stressing. So, I tell the kids, I get it. I understand. I'm there too. You
Yeah.
have the whole summer off, and then boom,
Yeah.
it's all in.
It's like
You're
that
there.
switch is going to have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
flipped. You can't, there's no, you can't wait.
There's no easing.
Oh, right. It's gone.
Yep,
Here we
jumping
go.
in with both feet.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, with that being said, we're really excited. We've got some new coaches this year. Amy Daysinger, one of our 6th grade teachers, stepped in and is helping to coach middle school cheer this year, and is having a great time. Kids are having a good time with her. She's working really closely with the high school. The high school cheer squad has been great mentors
Yes.
in helping our middle schoolers, and they are very excited with the number of cheers and dances that they've already learned and they're starting to master. So, and we enjoy having them on our football sidelines. And with that being said, we've got 3 really good leaders that came back this year from our cheer squad. We've got Liana Scioli, we've got McKenna Freeman, and Ashton Grosser, who, we've got a small 8th grade core, but they're doing a really good job of, being those leaders, helping the 7th graders get, it's a big difference when you go from rec to school cheer,
Yeah.
a lot more structure. They're learning a lot more techniques and skill sets than what they learned at the rec level. So, we're really appreciative of that. Saturday was a big day for our cross-country team. Coach Isfano and Coach Thomas do a really good job at making sure the kids get to some fun events.
Yeah.
So Riverside had their big night run.
Yeah, it keeps getting
And
bigger, I think.
It is, because I was out of town on Saturday, and I'm driving back, and social media is all abuzz. Don't take Riverside Drive, stay away, the roads are closed, traffic is a nightmare. So I'm coming down Vrooman Road at 9:30 at night, and it's a huge line of traffic coming from Riverside. So our high school track team did really well that night, and our middle school too. Coach Isfano said the race that our middle schoolers competed in had 40 teams from 3 different states.
Wow.
So this was a great opportunity. It was a fun event,
Yeah.
a lot of energy and excitement, but athletes and runners that they're not going to see the rest
Yeah.
of the year. So what a great way to kick it off.
Sure.
He said the girls were led by McKenna Freeman, Peyton Darnell, who had had excellent performances. Grace Kananen, Ashton Grosser, and Cora Mann made their cross-country debuts and ran great races. The boys were led by Nolan Isfano, who finished 27th out of 400 runners.
Wow.
Kenton Polzer, Ian Curtis, and Reese Hope followed with strong races as well. So I don't know if you caught that there, but 2 of our 8th grade cheerleaders are also running.
Yeah.
Which is, something that we really try to promote at the middle school, to tell kids, hey, jump in. We want you doing multiple sports. So actually, we have several cheerleaders this year that are doing 2 sports and balancing. And Addie Brooks is one of our volleyball players who's doing cheer and volleyball. And actually, she doesn't know this yet. I'll be probably tracking her down here after the podcast. But she is going to be our middle school student athlete of the week.
That's awesome.
Based on the leadership and how well she's balancing cheer and volleyball, and being that person like at volleyball who the coaches are saying is she's all over the floor, diving after balls, just being a great leader. So she's doing a great job balancing everything, coming in as a 7th grader, which is
that's
huge.
awesome.
So really excited about that. Volleyball, we have a new coach, Maria Arcaro, a Perry alum. So we're really excited about her, excited about the energy she brings, the knowledge of volleyball. So she's coaching our 7th grade and helping Chuck Thatcher. I told the 8th grade, I said, I'm sorry, but the front end of your schedule is going to be the hardest you have all year. So unfortunately, they've had a rough go at the beginning, facing some tough teams, but last week they were right there. A couple small mistakes, just didn't go their way, and so they just fell a little short. But they were right there and had the opportunity to win last week. So they're getting off to a rough start. Our 7th grade coming on strong. They are starting out at 2-1, so they're doing very well. Soccer last week did really well. Soccer, we've got, let's see here, the boys lost a tough one. The boys actually, I'm told, has a lot of club soccer players,
Yeah.
so we've got a really strong boys middle school team this year, so we're excited about that. Unfortunately, they lost their opener at Orange 1-2, but it was really close, and the boys even saw me the next day and they said, we were right there,
Yeah.
we came back strong. So which is great to see that the athletes are learning that resilience and that grind, that they may
awesome.
get down 2-0, but they fight back, and they're able to come back and compete. Our girls went to Beechwood for their season opener, and they were playing actually while the 8th grade football team was at Orange playing, and so I'm getting updates through the game, and they're like, they're sending you updates, Dury? I said, yes, she probably doesn't realize that we're playing right now too. But they ended up winning 6-1, and they had several people scoring. They had Riley, Brooklyn, Sophia, and Ellie all scoring, and assists made by Annie and Ellie, and she said it was just an outstanding team effort. So soccer is off to a great start. Love the coaches over there. They have a passion for soccer. Maddie Shires, Shannon, and Ricky Stewart. Shannon and Maddie actually volunteer time in Madison with Top Soccer and with the youth soccer program there. So our kids have some really great coaches that are really giving back.
Yeah, I was down there the other day for practice. We're working on a scoreboard
Yeah.
issue. Hopefully we'll have that fixed today. Knock on
Yes,
wood.
hopefully.
We're waiting on a part. But down there the other day, so I was there for about half an hour, and you hit it on the head. They're very passionate about soccer,
Yeah.
and those practices are organized, and those kids are working hard
Yeah.
and at the things they need to work on to get better. So it was an awesome for me to be down there and see that.
Yeah, and I'm privileged because if they've got conflicts with work schedules or something
Yeah,
like that, I've
yeah.
been able to go down there twice and
Sure.
help out and be
Yeah,
around
Ricky's
them.
a firefighter, EMT
Right.
guy. I'm like, he's working around his schedule.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shannon's a teacher,
And
not in
Maddie's a
this district.
teacher.
Maddie's a teacher. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we got people coming from all different
Yeah.
walks of jobs. They're
Yeah.
they're not all teachers. They like they
Right.
used to be.
Right.
Back when we were in high school, they were all like
In our building.
in our building, and then they'd go coach. And
Yeah.
it's we have to pull from a different pool of candidates in today's world, and that's just where we have. So people are coming from all different areas to
Right.
come and coach our kids, and that's awesome.
But you know what? The thing is, I still believe it, we have probably the best middle school coaching
Yeah.
staff in all of Northeast Ohio,
Yeah.
if not one of the best in the state, because these people are sharing their passion.
Yeah.
It is
Without a doubt.
something that
It's
they
awesome.
love and enjoy. Chuck Thatcher which I actually have a meeting tomorrow. One of my goals this year, because I got to keep adding to my list of things to do, but we're going to start doing more volunteerism, more community service, more giving back. So I'm going to be working with the high school PSL program, and I think we're going to call it the Captain Circle, and we are going to try to go out and pull in some of our senior athletes and encourage them to reach out to all the athletes to try to do some community service, giving back, do some volunteerism. So it's something I've been preaching to middle school. Last year, you saw my football players at a lot of different events, supporting, creating those student sections, supporting their other classmates in other sports. So volleyball was my first volunteer team of the year, and the first week before school started, they went and donated an hour of their time helping rec volleyball with their tryouts and stuff like that. So really excited. I know Coach Isfano's excited about doing some stuff. Shannon and Ricky with their involvement, and Maddie with their involvement in other soccer programs. So we're looking to get them involved. And my football team, they're already slated for 9-8. We've got a bus leaving football practice. We're going to go and cheer for soccer as they have a doubleheader that day with Heritage, girls and boys. So we're going to be there. We're going to feed the kids. We're going to have a great student section. We're going to try and rally a lot of the other kids from the middle school to come. And then on 9/9, we're hosting our middle school invitational again. So we're looking to have a big crowd at that. This year we're going to add a concession stand to that event. The football players will be lining the field again, helping cheer those kids on. And then we're going to be going to, I think it's 9/24, volleyball will be hosting West G, which is a big rival. It's a very competitive group. So we're going to try and get a big student section at that game for the girls volleyball team. Because it's easy to get people to come to football. We want to try to encourage the kids and the community to come out to some of these other events, because all these kids are working hard. These sports, the kids are passionate about it. I know. I mean, I didn't get to play football in high school, but I loved when we had big crowds at volleyball and basketball games in high school. So it just brings a different energy. It elevates your game as an athlete. So we're really looking forward to adding some of those things this year as well.
That's awesome. Off to a great start for sure. Like we said, hit the ground running, and you certainly have. You're sprinting right now. We're in that sprint mode. You're coaching football. You're going to volleyball matches, soccer matches, cross country events. Our I can't remember what number year we're on for our middle school cross country invitational.
Oh yeah, this is I think our third.
Yeah,
our third year.
Third one here on campus. But Jeff Gregg started it back.
Way
back we were at the Outdoor Y for probably 20 plus years.
Yeah,
so
I helped you set that up the 1 year, and I was like, okay, let's not ever do this again.
I know it's hosting a cross country event in of itself is a challenge.
Yes.
Hosting it not on your campus is a different world.
Yes.
And we love the YMCA, but it's just hard to bring all your stuff out there and get everything set up. And it's much better here on our campus. So thanks for being here today,
Yes,
Mindy.
absolutely.
Best of luck with everything.
Thank
you
you.
got a middle school football game today.
Yeah,
right? We got
7th
Mayfield.
grade,
Mayfield today for
and
7th, and at
8th grade,
US
yes.
tomorrow for 8th grade.
Yeah.
It was crazy. One of those, the 7th grade, we lost so many games for football for 7th grade, and we're replacing them.
Yeah, we
And
lost 5 of our 8 games.
Yeah, so
to schools canceling 7th
we got
grade
the
seasons.
Aurora game back last week. Aurora was week
Last week,
1.
yeah.
That was a lost game. We got Aurora. This was a lost game. We
Yep,
got Mayfield.
Next week was a lost game.
Yeah,
We
so
got
it's
Sal.
one of those things.
Picked
yeah.
up Berkshire.
Yeah,
So
we're-
we picked up, we need 2 more ideally to
Yeah.
fill that out, and 1 more 8th grade game later in the season,
Yeah.
but we're getting there.
And both football teams were 1-0, 7th and 8th grade. Right?
Yes, they both
Yeah,
won
so,
last week, which was great.
Yeah.
And the 7th grade, we added 2 new players this week.
Yeah.
So super excited. I love it when the kids are all excited. They go to school, they're talking about it, and then, first week of school, and then we're adding some more kids
Right,
because
yeah.
they see the excitement
Yeah.
that the kids are coming to school. So
That's great.
looking forward to that.
All right. Well, we'll have you back here in a few weeks to update
Sounds
us as
good.
we continue with fall sports at the middle school. Our middle school AD, Mindy Allen. Thanks for being here, Mindy. We're going to transition right back up to high school. We'll bring up Chance Schlau. Chance is our male athlete of the week. Welcome in, Chance. Appreciate you being here. There's your DQ certificate.
Thank
Get
you.
that before wrestling season starts
Yeah.
so you can actually enjoy it. Chance is a repeat. He was here last year as well. But this one, we're going to talk a little bit of soccer. And as he is our male athlete of the week, his coach, Coach Tanish, nominated him just for the start of the year that we've had on the boys team as a whole, but then Chance as a leader in our program. So let's just start out, Chance. How's the year going? We're 2-1 on the year. Got a great win on opening night, Friday Night Football. We host Jefferson, got a 6-0 win. Go on the road at Kirtland. Historically, very tough team. They have, I will tell you, they have not only our team, but they have drubbed a lot of teams in the past by 7, 8, 9 goals. A 3-0 loss, but very respectable. It was 1-0 until later in the game, and then came back strong and got a win last week against Berkshire 3-1. So how obviously we're 2-1, sitting pretty good. How's your take on the season been so far?
To be honest, we're a lot different team.
Yeah.
More as a team as a whole, we have a deeper relationship. So
Yeah.
compared that to last year, I felt like last year we were all like individual play and we're doing
Yeah.
it for ourselves. This year it's more as a team and what can we do better as a team. That's what our main focus is this year, and I think it's working out so far.
And how hard was that for you guys to accept not being individuals and being a team? And was it more outside activities you guys were doing? Was it more time on the practice field? How did that blossom into what it is right now?
I think it was a little bit of both, more of understanding the game a little bit better and understanding we can't do it by ourselves. We have to use each other and know like our position and do what we do.
And last year, you guys obviously got off to a slow start, but then you guys closed strong. So did that kind of experience help you guys into this year, knowing, hey, we were down last year, but we started to find our groove. If we can carry that over, has that been a little bit of a play? And guys, I guess, going through the high school game a little bit too, and maybe learning it that we're younger, or maybe first time on varsity last year.
A lot of us guys we're young. Like a few of us only have 3 years on varsity. More of it's like we're kind of comparing of what we did last year to this year. So improving the basics, like going through a first touch and going through all that and working as a team. That's the big one.
Well, and that's why I think Coach Tanish, obviously we'll talk about your position on the team from where you play on the field here in a minute, but what she really likes about you is bringing just that natural leadership to the team and setting that tone like, hey, this is going to be different than last year, and we started out 0-4 last year. No one wants that start, and we're going to be different. We're going to be together. How do you do that as obviously you're a senior, so it's a little bit easier maybe than when you're an underclassman, but is it just, hey, I'm a senior, so that people are going to listen to me, or how do you get those guys to buy into that philosophy?
Honestly, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, all of us seniors, we all have the same goal, and that's all to win. We want to
Right.
have a winning record. That's
Right.
the goal for the season.
Right.
All the younger guys, they're set in stone. They want to win too, so
Right.
they follow this real simple. They follow what has to be done to win.
Right. Good. Well, I think again she appreciates that so much out of all of the senior class. It has really stepped up, and I think the other thing she's impressed with you is, and let's just talk about your history of soccer. Did you not start playing until your freshman year? Was that your first
Correct.
year of soccer?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So you've only been at this sport for really 3 years. You're at the very start of your 4th year here, but we're only a couple of games in. So how did you pick up soccer? How did you decide to play? You hadn't played in middle school. And how did you come around the game of soccer?
I was a big football and wrestling
Yeah.
guy in middle school.
Yeah.
I realized football wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, prepare me on the mat.
Right.
And then I started to pick up soccer. Some of my friends, we talked
Yeah.
about it, and then it was, let's try it out. And then after the first season, I really saw what it did for me on the mat, footwork-wise and movement. So I just stuck with it.
That's awesome.
And as you came in as a freshman to where you are now in your senior year, obviously there's probably been huge strides, huge growth. What do you remember from that freshman year that you kind of look back now and maybe laugh about or giggle about and think, what was I doing? And now here you are as second team All CVC last year, looking to carry this team to a higher level.
Honestly, my freshman year, I really couldn't do anything. Go throwing the ball and get called every time. So yes, big improvements each year, but it's all about like the team around me. I always had support each year of building up and building my confidence. So
And you're a defender on our team. Do you have a certain role? Is it are you center? Are you on the outside? Where are you playing on the field defensively?
I'm in the center.
In the center. Okay, so you're sort of you're the I'm not. I'm still learning soccer, even though I have a daughter that's played for a while. I'm still learning. Is that like the last line of defense there before the goalie? Are you in charge of the defense? What's your role as a defender back
A little
there?
bit of both. So I'm in
Okay.
charge of the defense. I'm and the last line
Last
before
line.
the goalie.
Okay.
So I make sure everyone's in their positions up and yeah.
And so we're heading to, again, we're shooting this on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 26th. We're heading to Lutheran West today. Did we play them last year? I can't remember.
We
We did. What was our outcome last year?
We tied 2-2.
Tied 2-2. So we've got, obviously, I think confidence right now being 2-1. We're heading out there today to Lutheran West. Our JVs will play at 5. Varsity match will start at 7 o'clock, so a late night on the road tonight. But who else in our conference is gonna challenge us? We play in a tough division. We've sort of echoed that already. Golf is in the same boat. The Lutheran Wests, West G, Chagrin. Who in our division are we looking to sort of take down, or we know we're gonna have to sort of step our game up to compete with?
Probably Madison.
Okay.
But we really don't. We kind of focus one game at a time.
Yeah.
We don't look ahead too much because each year is different. Most schools lose a lot of guys. Senior class are gone.
Right.
So we try and focus more one game at a time. We don't look too far ahead and worry about that.
Makes sense.
And your next 3 are going to be on the road. So for a high schooler, what are the challenges of playing on the road? Is it the travel? Is it the being on the bus and then trying to get amped up to play? What are some of those challenges?
I would say travel time and then being on the bus is always like a lag almost.
So how do you get through that for these guys, and maybe some of the younger guys on the team that haven't experienced? What kind of leadership, guidance? What do you give them so when you guys step off that bus in these next 3 games, you guys are ready to go?
Try and keep energy high during warm-ups. Keep everyone amped up, everyone excited to play. If that's got to take music or what it does,
Yeah.
just having fun with each other and like almost not like messing around, but just working hard.
All right, and not to put you on the spot here, but you've been practicing now since August 1st. You guys have been doing stuff really all summer as well, and we'll talk wrestling stuff here in 1 second, and we'll get you out of here. The bell. Chance's got to get to class here, so we don't want to make him too late. Which player, in your opinion, or players, if you want to pick a couple, are ready for a breakout year here for Perry Boys Soccer?
I have 3 in mind.
Okay.
I would say Drew Tanish,
Yeah.
Cooper Schlau, and then Colt Christinger.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll keep an eye on those
Yes.
guys. Maybe they'll be in your seat here soon enough. As one of our athletes of the week, we'll continue to highlight boys soccer as we go. Let's just wrap. You were here last year at the end of wrestling season. As we got into the state tournament, how did your off season go for wrestling? And easiest question of the day: are you excited for your senior year of wrestling?
I am. I really haven't stopped wrestling
Okay.
since then. So
Right.
I've been working almost 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I'm trying to stay active, stay in the
Okay.
room.
Yep.
I got really a few goals in mind, and that's to place higher and prove myself, basically.
Right.
Another goal I'm at 99 wins, so the goal
Okay.
by the end is to be at 150.
Okay.
So let's hope that gets
It's
done.
doable.
Yeah.
It's doable. You're gonna have a heck of a year, but it's doable. I know you can do it.
Yeah. So as you start to look ahead towards to wrestling, so how was first year with Coach Trentinelli? Obviously, Coach Rowland retired last year. Coach Trentinelli first year, now getting ready for year number 2. How was that transition for you guys?
So the team we had last year and the team we'll have this year, we're all his kids from youth. Like we've been
Right.
with him from youth and middle school, so we know the drill. He knows how it goes. He was always in the room for high school practices, so it's been there, done that for him.
And for this 150 win goal, how many other kids are you kind of chasing? Like in Perry history, do you have a couple of guys that have been there, or are you like trying to get on that Mount Rushmore of to be with this guy, and this guy?
To be honest, I have no idea.
Okay.
I haven't really checked into that.
But
Well, again, 150,
150 is a
that's fine,
round
yeah.
number, so it's 51 wins in a year would be pretty darn impressive. But again, I know it can happen. And you guys went to Central Michigan, correct, for wrestling camp?
Yes.
That was our first time there.
Yeah.
How did you guys like that one?
It was different. It was
Yeah.
good. A lot of competition. We really liked it. We saw schools from all over.
Yeah, that's the cool part. And we've gone to different camps. All of our teams seem to travel to different places. Wrestling, we've been to Virginia Tech. We've been to, was it West Virginia? We've been all over the place. And so we tried something new, and it sounds like it was a good experience as well. All right, Chance, we're going to get you out of here. Before we do, just some get-to-know-you questions. Again, you answered these last year. We threw a new one in there, so we'll hopefully we won't stump you with this new one. But favorite food or restaurant?
Favorite food? Probably the steak.
Okay, good old steak. That's classic. Favorite subject in school?
Probably chemistry.
Okay. Favorite either movie or television series or stream, whatever. What are you watching?
This new one called Tires. It's pretty good.
Tires.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up. Hobby away from athletics, whether it's soccer, wrestling, whatever. Anything you're doing?
Summertime, wakeboarding, wintertime, snowmobiling.
All right, cool. And here's the new question. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Probably Instagram.
Instagram, okay. You know that one, Mr.
I have that.
Okay,
Yeah,
you have that one. Okay.
I put that on there because I'm tired of playing Retro Bowl. I need something new here, and that's where I'm going.
Well, hopefully you'll
Yes,
learn
right.
as the weeks go on. You'll get some different answers. Favorite memory from Perry, whether it's athletics or school or any type of experience you've had. You're a senior. In 9 months from now, you're going to walk across that stage. You're going to graduate. What are you going to take away from this place when you do that?
Probably all the friends that we made through sports and classes. I mean, we've got a pretty big group of friends that
Yeah.
I have right now.
That's awesome. Visit any place in the world, Chance. Where are you heading?
Alaska.
Alaska would be awesome. My wife wants to do a cruise to Alaska. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I think it would be pretty awesome to do. All right, Chance Schlau, Athlete of the Week on our male
Thank you.
side. Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Chance. Congrats. Off to a hot start, 2-1. Good luck
Thanks.
tonight at Lutheran West. And as I know, he's going to be chasing his wrestling goals as well here. Like you said, he's working a couple of days a week in that room, getting ready.
And that, again, we talked about this last year, but the goals that the athletes come in with
Yep.
it just amazes me how focused they are on
Yep.
this number or
Right.
this. I
Yeah.
want to get to this.
They
point.
know the numbers.
Yeah, right.
They know the numbers. They have these goals and they're busting their tails working for them. So I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's going to be the part. And as you said, we'll definitely see him here, I'm sure, through wrestling
Yeah,
season.
for sure.
But as the fall sports continue along, we've knocked
Yeah.
out 3 of the many that you have going
Yeah.
on. So girls tennis, let's start there. New head coaches
Yeah.
this season, but rain has kind of slowed them down just a little bit, getting matches in, but just not finishing.
Yeah, the rain has been again. I thought we would not be talking about this in the summertime or in the fall season after last spring was ended up being one of the wettest springs on record, by the way. So hopefully that won't happen this spring. But we're battling a little bit right now. But yeah, Andrea Morris is our new head coach. Craig Austin is her assistant coach, and they work very well together. They're a great tandem, and they brought some energy into the program. And we have 2 full JV. We have a full JV and a full varsity, even with a few extras. So our numbers are up. And yeah, we just struggled to get matches in. And again, broken record here, but yeah, we're in a tough conference. So maybe the athletic director needs to do a better job of putting these teams into better conference setups. And again, all joking aside, they are in a challenging one, and we are going to be revamping that with the addition of those 4 schools. All of our divisions will be different as we head into next year, and we'll always try to put us in the best competitive division possible. We're not just so we can win championships.
Sure.
Like, we'll never do that just so we can go win a bunch of things and not be competitive. But at the same time, Orange and Hawken, we have to play. We've already played Hawken. We're playing Orange this week, tomorrow. And they're ranked 1st and 3rd, respectively, in the state of Ohio for Division II. So, and we're not there. And so those are very challenging matches to play. And we're going to play them 4 times.
Right.
Hawken twice and Orange twice, not to mention Beechwood, not to mention Sugar and Falls. yeah, we're in a brutal, tough schedule. So we've played Geneva. That match, is a tight match. We're going to finish it this Thursday. So hopefully, we can get our first win there. Last night, I was thinking we could get our first win. We hosted Chardon, but the rains came about 5:15, 5:30. We're going to have to find a date to finish that match. So, a couple of rainouts on where we could have gotten some wins as a team. But, and we're young and inexperienced. We lost Audrey Austin, a state qualifier, a multi-year state qualifier to graduation, and she's playing at Ohio Northern. So, but yeah, we're ready to go, and they're out there working every day, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think the best thing you said was the numbers that they have coming in.
Yes.
To have a full JV team plus some
Yes.
extras after watching last year where it was tough to get a JV squad
Yes.
going. The numbers have been great. So for Coach Morris and Coach Austin in their first season.
Yeah, and again, JV is the lifeblood of any program in freshman and middle school, and then rec and travel. So it all feeds the varsity program. But when you skip a step and don't have a JV team or don't have a freshman team, it's a major problem.
Yeah.
To again, our vision and our philosophy is we want to reload teams every year. We don't want to rebuild. And have to start from ground zero, level zero. We want to just reload. All right, yeah, we lost Audrey Austin to graduation. We lost some great seniors last year. But we just want to fill them in with people that are ready to go because they've played JV for 2 years or they've played middle school tennis and across all sports. So it's huge that we have JV, and it's going to continue to feed our program and grow our programs across all of Perry Athletics. And so coaches and parents sort of roll their eyes at me when I say, I don't care if we win JV and freshman level matches or games, and that's tongue in cheek. Of course, we want to win.
Sure.
We're not going out there to try and lose, but it's more about the development and getting them ready and getting their skill set ready for when they're on a varsity level team, and that's when we have CVC championships and postseason and sectionals and districts. They don't have those for any JV or freshman team, so we're not as concerned about the wins and losses. We want that development. So across all sports, that's what we're trying to get. So I'm thrilled that JV girls tennis is there and feeding our program for the future.
And you mentioned Audrey Austin, arguably maybe the greatest tennis player here in Perry history.
Yes.
You go to the soccer side, on the girls' side,
Yep.
Jordan Rowan graduates, obviously over 100 goals,
Yeah.
a phenomenal season last year.
Sure.
She graduates, so the soccer team for the girls, they win their opener, but have dropped their last two.
Yeah, started off at Ursuline last Friday and Friday Night Football, and, we started down 1-0. Girls battled back and got to win 2-1 on the road against a strong Ursuline team. So we sort of expected that one. And then, we played Laurel the following week on Tuesday, and they were a tough side last year for us. We beat them 3-2 out at their place, but they made it a close match. And then, Holy Name, who we beat last year, came in and beat us on Saturday night 2-0. We have Riverside tonight at home, so that will be a good match as well. And we play a tough schedule.
Right.
We're in a different division. Again, same scenario. We on both boys and girls soccer, we are in a different division this year than we were last year, and it will change for next year because of, again, these new teams coming in. But we're playing West Geauga. West Geauga on Thursday beat Madison 7-1. All right, we scrimmage Madison. We're probably comparable to Madison. So we're gonna have some really tough competition in the league that we play in. And then did we take a step back and schedule lighter competition in our non-conference? No, we pretty much kept it the same, even though our conference matches last year were a little bit easier. So we want to challenge this team. We want to grow this team. We want to put them through, see how they will, stand up to some adversity, because it's going to be there. We need to learn how to score the ball. Without Jordan, we would kick it ahead to her last year and let her do her thing. And she's obviously a phenomenal player. She's getting time. She's playing about half the match for the Kansas Jayhawks, which they're ranked in the top 25 in the country. So obviously a phenomenal talent. You are not going to replace her. We just need to play a different style of soccer, which we are. And, we just need to adjust and adapt and learn how, again, we're going to probably win games 2-1 or 1-0, as opposed to 7-3,
Sure.
type of games. And that's fine. We'll find our stride. But yeah, right now we're 1-2 heading into Riverside tonight.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Riverside tonight, West G on Thursday, both home games. So you get out here and support the girls program. Volleyball, a fantastic year last year. The regular season went fantastic. CVC champions. Unfortunately, got bounced in the playoffs early.
Yep.
They had a tournament this weekend at Hudson.
And again, same mindset as girls soccer. Tough schedule. Yes, we were 10-0 in the league last year. We played in the Chagrin tournament last year. Coach Haraga wanted to play some tougher competition, so we played more tournaments. We have 9 of our 22 matches are in tournament level play. And so we started this past week out at the Hudson tournament. We go back to the Chagrin tournament, and then we host our own tournament late in the season in October before that sectional. And I think our thought together was we need to see some tougher competition. If we're not going to get it, again, we want to win the CVC. That's the goal of all of our programs. But we want to challenge ourselves outside of that as well. And we certainly did that this past weekend. Hudson, Walsh Jesuit, and Riverside, 3 perennial Division I programs in the area, or Division I or II. We're Division IV. So we knew the competition was going to be extremely tough. We would have been thrilled to win one, honestly. We didn't win any, and that's fine. But the things we learned and the experiences that we had in those 3 matches are going to prepare us not only for a regular season, but for that postseason run, which we're focused on, doing better than we did last year, honestly. And that's why we want the tougher competition.
And Coach Allen kind of mentioned it when she was here for the middle school, but cross country, they had their nighttime meet at Riverside, which again, I've been reading a lot about it in the News Herald. Just a phenomenal event to be there and kind of kick things off running in the dark.
Yeah, they do a great job over there, and it's sort of their marquee event, and it's grown over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's morphed into this huge thing, and teams coming from 3 different states to participate, and it's a great way to kick off the year. It's it's unique. It's at night. We don't run another night race. So it's a fun way to start the year off, and our kids did great. Again, they're going to head out this weekend to Ashland, and they actually get to spend the night on Friday night prior to that one. So that's always fun. That's a great team building event. So 2 fun events to really start the year and off and running, no pun intended. So.
And the other excitement that happened this past weekend, obviously the battle for the Brown Jug, the 10th straight year that Perry has beat Madison in the start of the 2025 season for the Pirates, but a great way to kick off the season.
Yeah, and anytime you can beat the Blue Streaks in any sport, we talk about that across our entire athletic department. It's a great day, and obviously this one gets a little bit more notoriety because it's football and all that kind of stuff. But we do have, on boys soccer, we have the battle for the little pink jug. I'm sorry, that's volleyball. And we have the Border Cup in boys soccer. So we have other things. We have other rivalries with Madison. We play them twice in boys and girls basketball. So it's a fun rivalry. It is our rivalry. And again, lots of noise last week, lots of talk about, this could be the year. And yeah, are we inexperienced? We are. I think we have great athletes and great football players on our team. They didn't have as much experience as Madison, but they came out and performed when they needed to perform. They made plays when they needed to make plays. And here we are, 38-14. It was 38-7 late in the game, and ho-hum, that's year 10 in a row that we've been able to keep the Little Brown Jug here in Perry. And so hats off to our team, Coach Geswich and his staff, and our parents and our families for all the hard work and dedication they put in. I see parents across all of our sports this fall, this fall and every year. There's great behind-the-scenes activity whether it's team meals, doing fun things for team building activities. The parents are there. They're always supporting. They're always there to do anything that the coaches want within reason. And our kids are fed well, and pre-game and post-game and in-game and everything. So hats off to everybody for all that you do for our athletes, and we appreciate it very much. We don't get to say it a lot, but we do appreciate it. And yeah, so here we are, 1-0 football. We're into Kenston, who beat Solon 30-13. So we knew going in the first 5 or 6 weeks of our season were going to be the most competitive, brutal stretch of our schedule. And so we don't get a break. And, whether or not we win on Friday against Kenston, following week is Kirtland.
Right. And
whether we win or lose against Kirtland, the following week is Chardon, and then the following week is Geneva. So our first 5 games for sure are like, okay, we better bring it every week, and we better be ready to play. And I think we'll have Coach Guesswich on maybe next week as we preview the Kirtland game, or maybe we wait and see what happens after Kirtland and preview the Chardon game, because any of them are good talking points, and we're looking forward to those games. But first things first, Kenston Bombers home on Friday. It's youth football night, so it'll be fun to have those guys out there and making the tunnel for the team as they come onto the field. And the weather looks great as we head into Labor Day weekend here. But yeah, 1-0 is a great place to be, especially when we're playing Madison, and we'll see what the Kenston Bombers bring Friday.
So a lot of great events here at Perry coming up this weekend, which will end up capping off with the football game on Friday. But between tennis and volleyball and soccer, there's a lot of events here at the high school. So get out and support all of those teams. And it's just like kind of riding a bike now. Getting back into this groove of following obviously you're following it a lot closer than I am, but get back into that and to learn about each of these programs throughout this 25.
And again, I think today we went probably over what we normally will do. So I don't know. I expect anybody to go on and listen for an hour and 15-minute podcast. We're going to try to keep these in the 45 to 50-minute range, but we did want to get Coach Dame on. We wanted, because we only have so many weeks until golf is done. We're going to have to get Coach Walker on for girls golf. We wanted Mindy to be on for the middle school and highlight what's going on there. We'll try to limit it to, we'll have our 2 athletes every week and then probably 1 coach, and we'll talk about every other sport. So if you have 45 to 50 minutes to give us every week, we'll highlight all of the sports in and out. It's not going to be an hour and 15, hour and 25 minutes each and every week. But, last week was so crazy. We didn't do one. We had our bonfire. We had week 1 football. We had all this stuff. First week of school, it was just nuts. We could not physically get in the studio to do it. So we went a little long today, but each of them should be in that 50-minute range. And again, we're excited to bring it to you because we want to highlight our athletes and our programs and our coaches and our families and our community. And we want everybody to know what's going on with Perry Athletics 7 through 12. And so that's the focus of the podcast. So if that's what you want to hear about, you want to get some behind-the-scenes scoops with our kids and what sort of makes them tick and what happens in our programs. We try to give as much behind-the-scenes info as we can, but we're excited for year 2. As we wrap up week 1, we'll start working on the week 2 show and be off and running and catch it next week.
Yeah, all the same spots. Apple, the Apple iPod, the Alexa could play it for you on Amazon, Spotify, the YouTube. So there's plenty of ways to get it. If you don't sit through and watch the whole thing, you can at least listen while you're walking, working out, whatever you may be doing on all the podcast platforms.
All right, Gene. Well, thanks again. That'll wrap up week 1 until week 2. Go Pirates.